My dear friends, trust is like glass. Once it breaks, even if you try to put the pieces back together, the cracks always remain. Think about it. When someone hurts you once, it's not just pain they cause, they create a permanent dent in the foundation of trust. And here's the reality: if they've done it once, they can do it again. That is why we must be careful whom we allow into our hearts, because not everyone who smiles at us truly wishes us well. Today, I want to share with you why trusting someone who has already hurt you can be dangerous, and how you can protect your peace, your heart, and your future. My dear friends, trust is one of the most delicate and powerful things in life. We often give it so casually, without thinking, without measuring, without realizing its depth. But trust, if you look closely, is not something that can be handed over instantly, like a gift wrapped in shiny paper. Trust is something that must be earned brick by brick over time. Imagine for a moment that trust is like a bank account. Every kind word, every honest action, every promise kept, those are deposits. Slowly, steadily, the account grows. But the moment someone lies to you, cheats you, betrays you, disrespects you, that is not just a small withdrawal. That is like an entire account being emptied in one stroke. Suddenly, everything you thought you had, every bit of security and safety you felt, disappears. And the truth is, when we allow people to enter our lives without them having proven their worth, we take a risk with our own peace. Many of us make this mistake. We meet someone, they speak sweetly, they make us laugh, they show us charm, and we think, I can trust this person. But my friends, trust is not built on words, it is built on actions. And actions must be consistent over time. If someone has never had to prove themselves, if they have never had to show you their integrity in difficult moments, then your trust is not on solid ground. It is on sand. And when the storm comes, when the test of character arrives, that weak foundation collapses. Let us ask ourselves honestly, how many times have we been hurt, not because the other person was too clever, but because we were too quick to trust? How many times did we believe promises without waiting to see if they would be fulfilled? How many times did we mistake temporary affection for genuine care? Trust is not something that can be taken for granted. It is a sacred bond, a silent agreement between two souls. And the moment someone breaks it, the moment they choose betrayal over loyalty, the damage runs deeper than we can imagine. That is why I say trust is earned, not given freely. If someone wants to be in your life, if they want your confidence, your loyalty, your openness, they must work for it. Just like a gardener waters a plant every day, just like a builder lays each brick carefully to construct a home, trust too must be built slowly, carefully, and consistently. Because once it is broken, no matter how much you try to repair it, the cracks remain visible. So, my dear friends, never make the mistake of giving away your trust without reflection. Never let someone into the deepest chambers of your heart until they have proven again and again through actions, through patience, through truth that they deserve it. Because your trust is not cheap. Your trust is priceless. And only those who truly value you will earn it, respect it, and protect it with all their heart. My dear friends, one of the greatest lessons life teaches us is this: people's actions are not random, they are patterns. When someone hurts you once, it is not just an accident to be brushed aside. It is a glimpse into their character, into their way of dealing with others, into their true colors. Yes, mistakes happen. Yes, people can slip, and sometimes they don't realize the impact of their actions. But more often than not, when a person chooses to hurt you, It is not a momentary lapse. It is a reflection of how they see you and how little they value your trust. Think about it. If a person lies to you once, what is stopping them from lying again? If they cheated you once, what guarantee do you have that they won't cheat you the moment it benefits them again? If they disrespected you once, do you really believe that respect will magically appear the next time? Human beings are creatures of habit, just as we all brush our teeth in the same way every morning, just as we follow the same route to work, just as we develop patterns in eating, speaking, or sleeping. People also develop patterns in their morality, in their honesty, in their loyalty, and those who once chose betrayal over loyalty are likely to choose it again. Sometimes, out of love or attachment, we close our eyes to these patterns. We say to ourselves, "It was only one time. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe they'll change." But the reality is, if hurting you was easy for them once, it will be easier for them the second time. The barrier is broken. The line has been crossed. And each time you allow it, each time you forgive without accountability, you train them to believe they can get away with it. You teach them that your boundaries are flexible, that your heart is open to being wounded again and again. And sadly, many people take advantage of that kindness. Now, this doesn't mean we should become bitter or suspicious of everyone. No, that would poison our own hearts. But it does mean we must learn to read behavior carefully. If someone shows you once that they are willing to hurt you, let that be a warning. The same fire that burned you once will burn you again if you walk back into it carelessly. Trusting such a person again is like touching a flame with the hope that this time it won't burn. But my friends, flames will always burn. That is their nature. Life is too short to give endless chances to people who have shown you no desire to change. It is not about revenge. It is not about holding grudges. It is about wisdom. It is about protecting your heart from repeated wounds. It is about recognizing that you deserve better than to be hurt twice by the same hand. Once is a mistake, twice is a pattern. Thrice is a decision you allowed. So, choose wisely. When someone hurts you once, don't just feel the pain, see the message. That message says, be careful, because if you stay, this will happen again. Your peace, your dignity, and your well-being are too valuable to gamble on the hope that someone who hurt you once will suddenly become a saint. Believe in patterns, not promises. My dear friends, one of the most misunderstood concepts in relationships is the difference between forgiveness and trust. People often confuse the two, thinking that if we forgive someone, we must also allow them back into our hearts with the same access, the same intimacy, the same closeness as before. But this is not true. Forgiveness is a medicine for the soul, but blind trust after betrayal is poison for the heart. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself. When someone hurts you, when they betray you, when they leave you broken, carrying anger and resentment only chains you to that pain. Imagine drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. That is what holding on to grudges feels like. Forgiveness releases that poison. It allows you to say, I will not let your mistake destroy my inner peace. Forgiveness is not about them, it's about you. It's about letting go of the heavy stone you've been carrying on your back. When you forgive, you breathe again. Your heart becomes lighter. You are no longer trapped by the bitterness of what happened. But here is where many people fall into a trap. They believe that forgiveness means restoration of trust. They think, if I forgive, I must accept them again. I must let them close. I must give them another chance. No, my friends, Forgiveness and trust live in different worlds. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Trust is a gift you give to another. And those two gifts are not equal. Forgiveness can be given unconditionally, but trust must always be earned. Imagine your home. If someone breaks in and robs you, you may forgive them in your heart so you can move on with your life. But will you hand them the keys to your home the next day? Of course not. You can forgive them, yet still protect your boundaries. You can release the anger, but still lock your doors. This is wisdom. In the same way, if someone hurts you deeply, yes, forgive them because you do not want to poison your soul. But trusting them again without proof of change is not kindness, it's carelessness. Sometimes people use forgiveness as a tool to manipulate. They hurt you, then they apologize with tears, saying, "If you really forgive me, you should trust me again." But that is not forgiveness. That is emotional blackmail. Real forgiveness is not measured by whether you allow someone back into your life. Real forgiveness is measured by the peace you feel inside. You can forgive someone and still decide that they no longer deserve a place in your inner circle. You can forgive and still create distance. You can forgive and still protect your dignity. This is a balance we must learn, because blind trust after betrayal is like walking into a snake pit after being bitten once, thinking, "This time the snake will not bite me." The snake may not even intend to harm you the second time, but its nature is still its nature. Your role is not to test whether they've changed, it is to protect yourself from unnecessary pain. So, my friends, forgive quickly but trust slowly. Forgive for your own peace, but trust only after evidence of change. Forgiveness is divine, but blind trust after betrayal is self-destruction. And the greatest act of love you can give yourself is to separate the two. My dear friends, there is a very subtle but extremely important difference we often overlook in our relationships. The difference between a mistake and a habit. Many times, when people hurt us, they come back with folded hands. They say, "I am sorry, it was just a mistake." And because our hearts are soft, because we value relationships more than ego, we forgive. But what we fail to recognize is this: a mistake is something that happens once, out of carelessness, out of ignorance, out of a momentary weakness. A habit, on the other hand, is a repeated pattern of behavior, a cycle that continues again and again, despite apologies, despite promises, despite second chances. Let us reflect. If a person forgets your birthday once, it can be a mistake. They may have been busy, overwhelmed, distracted. But if they forget every year, it's not a mistake. It's a habit of neglect. If a friend lies to you once, perhaps they panicked. Perhaps they didn't know how to handle the situation. But if lying becomes their default response, it is no longer a mistake, it's their habit. If a loved one disrespects you once in anger, maybe they lost control of their temper. But if disrespect becomes their language, their behavior, their way of dealing with you, that is not a mistake, it's their habit. The problem is we often confuse the two. Out of love, we tell ourselves, "It was only a mistake, let me forgive them." But when mistakes turn into patterns, when patterns harden into habits, and when habits become someone's nature, then forgiveness alone cannot heal the situation. At that point, it is no longer about their slip, it is about their character. And here, my friends, we must be careful. Because if you treat a habit like a mistake, you will end up being hurt again and again. Think of it like fire. If a spark lands on your clothes once, it may burn a small hole. That is a mistake. But if you keep standing near a burning flame and it keeps catching your clothes, That is no longer an accident. It is your choice to remain there. People reveal themselves not just in one action, but in repeated actions. As the saying goes, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Yet many of us, out of hope, keep convincing ourselves that the next time will be different. But my dear friends, hope without evidence is denial. Now, this does not mean we must be harsh or unforgiving. Everyone deserves compassion. Everyone deserves the opportunity to learn from their mistakes. But there is a big difference between offering compassion and allowing exploitation. If you see genuine remorse, if you see a sincere effort to change, if you see consistent growth, then perhaps that person truly made a mistake. But if their apologies are just words, if their actions do not change, if the same hurt repeats itself like a cycle, then what you are dealing with is not a mistake, it is their habit. And habits are powerful. Habits are not changed by tears or promises. Habits are only changed when someone is truly committed to transformation. And until that transformation happens, you must protect your heart. You must recognize that repeatedly forgiving a habit without accountability is not nobility. It is self-sabotage. So, my dear friends, the next time someone hurts you, pause and ask yourself, was this a mistake or is this a habit? If it was a mistake, forgiveness can rebuild the bridge. But if it is a habit, forgiveness without boundaries will only keep you trapped in a cycle of pain. Learn to differentiate between the two, for wisdom is not in how many chances you give, but in how clearly you can see the difference between what was accidental and what has become someone's way of life. My dear friends, one of the greatest battles we fight in our hearts is between our love for someone and our respect for ourselves. Too often, when someone hurts us, we try to justify their actions. We tell ourselves, maybe they didn't mean it, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I should just let it go. We cling to the relationship, but in doing so, we slowly let go of something far more precious, our own self-respect. And without self-respect, no relationship, no matter how close, can truly survive. Let us think about this carefully. Every time you allow someone to cross a boundary without consequences, every time you let their excuses carry more weight than your dignity, you are silently telling yourself, my respect matters less than their presence. This is where the danger lies. Because when you start lowering your standards for others, when you start accepting disrespect as normal, you are training yourself to believe that you are not worthy of better. And the moment you start to believe that, you shrink your own value in the eyes of the world. Respect is not something others should give you only when they feel like it. It is the foundation of every healthy connection. Love without respect is not love. Kindness without respect is not kindness. Even forgiveness without respect loses its meaning, because what are you forgiving if the same disrespect continues? My dear friends, your self-respect must stand taller than any excuse someone gives you. Excuses may sound sweet, they may be wrapped in apologies, they may even be decorated with tears, but if the same behavior repeats, then all you are holding on to are words, not change. Consider this: when someone spills water on you by accident, you forgive because you know it wasn't intentional. But if they keep pouring water on you and keep saying, sorry, it was an accident, how long will you keep accepting that? At some point, you will recognize that the apology is no longer real. It is simply a cover for disrespect. In the same way, when people hurt you and justify their actions with excuses, you must ask yourself, am I holding on to them because I truly believe they will change, or am I afraid of losing them and therefore sacrificing myself in the process. The truth is, sometimes we fear loneliness so much that we choose disrespect over solitude. We keep people in our lives who diminish us because we think being without them will be worse. But let me remind you, loneliness with self-respect is far more peaceful than togetherness with humiliation. It is better to walk alone with dignity than to walk with a crowd that does not value you. Self-respect is not arrogance. Self-respect is not ego. Self-respect is the recognition that you too are a child of God, worthy of love, care, and dignity. And anyone who truly loves you will never make you choose between their presence and your respect. They will honor you. They will value you. They will protect your dignity as if it were their own. That is the kind of relationship you deserve. So, my dear friends, the next time someone hurts you and gives you excuses, listen to your heart. Ask yourself, do these excuses rebuild my respect, or do they only ask me to sacrifice it? Because in the end, it is not their excuses that matter, it is your dignity that will determine the quality of your life. And remember this always, the moment you start valuing yourself, respect, the world begins to value you too. My dear friends, every time you trust someone and they hurt you, you are not just losing trust, you are losing energy. Your emotional energy, your mental clarity, your ability to feel safe and peaceful. All of it gets drained drop by drop. Think about it, your mind is like a lamp. When the oil inside is full, it glows brightly, it shines, it lights up not only your life, but also the lives of others around you. But when people betray you, when they hurt you, when they play with your trust again and again, they are like thieves who steal that oil. Slowly, quietly, without you even noticing, they drain the lamp. And one day you realize the flame is flickering, your glow has dimmed, and your light is no longer the same. We underestimate how much energy betrayal costs us. When someone hurts you once, you don't just feel pain in that moment. You carry it with you, in your thoughts, in your emotions, even in your body. You start replaying the event again and again. Why did they do this to me? Did I deserve it? Will it happen again? These questions eat away at your peace. You could be sitting at work, trying to focus, but the memory surfaces. You could be laughing with friends, but suddenly the thought cuts in like a shadow. This is the hidden cost of betrayal. It robs you of the present moment and replaces it with anxiety about the past and fear of the future. And when betrayal happens more than once, this cycle intensifies. It becomes a storm inside your mind. You no longer feel safe, even with those who have never hurt you. You start doubting good people because of the wounds left by bad ones. You start questioning kindness, suspecting honesty, fearing closeness. Do you see what happens? One person's repeated betrayal can drain you so much that it builds walls around your heart. And those walls, while protecting you from pain, also keep out joy, love, and genuine connection. But let us pause and reflect. Is your peace not more valuable than their presence? Is your mental health not more important than clinging to someone who keeps draining it? Sometimes we think holding on will save the relationship, but in reality, it is destroying us from within. When you repeatedly give your trust to someone who has already broken it, you are handing over your emotional bank account to someone who only knows how to withdraw, never how to deposit. And eventually, you are left bankrupt, tired, weak, emotionally exhausted. My dear friends, protecting your energy is not selfishness. It is survival. Just as you would not let someone steal from your wallet every day, do not let them steal from your heart every day. Just as you lock your home at night to guard your belongings, You must also guard your mind and soul from those who bring only pain. Because when your emotional energy is drained, you cannot give love to those who truly deserve it. You cannot focus on your goals. You cannot experience peace even in silence. The truth is, every betrayal costs you a little more of your inner strength. But here is the good news. You have the power to stop the leak. You can decide to set boundaries, to step back, to protect your energy. By doing so, you are not being cruel, you are being wise. Because your light is precious. Your energy is sacred, and the world needs your glow, not your exhaustion. So remember this always. When you keep trusting those who drain you, you dim your own flame. But when you protect your energy, you allow yourself to shine brighter, not just for you, but for everyone who truly values and cherishes you. My dear friends, one of the most painful confusions we often face is mixing love with trust, as if the two are always the same. We tell ourselves, if I love this person, I must trust them. If I trust them, I must let them close. But the truth is far more complex. Love and trust are deeply connected, but they are not identical. You can love someone deeply, yet still not trust them with your heart again. You can care for someone's well-being, yet still know that letting them close will only invite more pain. Think about this carefully. A mother may love her son endlessly, but if he falls into bad company and starts stealing money, will she leave her purse open on the table every day? No. She will love him with all her heart. She will pray for his growth. She will guide him, but she will also protect her home. That is wisdom. In the same way, a wife may love her husband deeply, but if he has broken her trust through repeated lies, she cannot simply pretend everything is fine. She may still wish him well, she may still hope he grows, but trusting him blindly again would only damage her own peace. Love is about the heart. Trust is about the mind. Love says, I care for you no matter what. Trust says, I will allow you close because I believe you are safe for me. And the two must always walk together. If love goes forward without trust, it becomes suffering. If trust goes forward without love, it becomes obligation. Only when both are balanced does a relationship truly flourish. But many of us make the mistake of believing that love demands blind trust. We say, if I love them, I should keep giving chances. If I love them, I should ignore their betrayal. My dear friends, this is not love. It is attachment mixed with fear. True love is not blind, it sees reality clearly. True love does not mean accepting poison again and again. True love sometimes means loving someone from a distance, praying for them, wishing them well, but refusing to let them keep hurting you. Imagine a rose bush. You may love the rose for its beauty and fragrance, but if every time you touch it, the thorns cut you, will you keep pressing your hand into it endlessly? No. You will admire it from afar, enjoy its beauty, and protect your hand from unnecessary wounds. The rose is still loved, but wisdom tells you how to love it without harming yourself. In the same way, when people have hurt you once, you can still love them from the heart, but you don't need to keep giving them access to wound you again. This understanding is liberating because it allows you to separate two things: your love for them and your responsibility to yourself. You can forgive them, you can wish the best for them, you can still care about their future. But at the same time, you can draw a line that says, I love you, but I cannot trust you with my heart again until I see true change. This way, your love remains pure, free of bitterness, but your self-respect remains intact. So, my dear friends, remember this always: love is unconditional, but trust is conditional. Love is about giving from the heart, But trust must be earned through consistent action. Never confuse the two. Because when you do, you may end up sacrificing your peace in the name of love. And that is not what love is meant to do. Love is meant to uplift you, to make you grow, to bring joy, not to repeatedly break you. If someone has hurt you once, keep the love in your heart, but do not hand them your trust again so easily. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for them and for yourself is to keep a safe distance and let your love express itself in prayer, not in blind trust. My dear friends, trust and respect are like twins, born together, growing together, and dying together. You cannot separate them. When someone breaks your trust, they are not only shattering your confidence in them, they are also silently eroding the respect you once held for them. And once respect is gone, no matter how many smiles you exchange, no matter how many words of apology are spoken, something fundamental in that relationship has changed forever. Think of a tall building. It stands high, shining in the sky, admired by everyone. But if the foundation cracks, even if the upper floors still look beautiful, you know deep inside that it is no longer safe. That is exactly how broken trust works. On the surface, the relationship may continue. People may still sit together, laugh together, live together. But beneath it all, the foundation of respect has been shaken. And without respect, the building of any relationship cannot stand strong. Let us pause and ask ourselves, how do we respect someone? We respect them because we believe in their honesty. We respect them because we believe in their integrity. We respect them because we believe that when they give us their word, they will honor it. Respect is born from trust. But when trust is broken, respect automatically collapses. Because how can you respect someone who looked into your eyes and lied? How can you respect someone who promised loyalty but chose betrayal? How can you respect someone who said, I will never hurt you, and then did exactly that? Some people try to rebuild the relationship after betrayal by saying, let's just forget it and move on. But my dear friends, forgetting is not the same as healing. You may choose to forgive. You may choose to continue the relationship, but deep in your heart, you will always carry a small doubt. And that doubt whispers to you in the quiet of the night, can I really trust them again? Do they truly value me? Or am I just waiting for the next wound? And with that doubt comes a subtle loss of respect. You may still interact with them, but the reverence, the admiration, the high place you once gave them in your heart, it is gone. Respect is delicate. It takes years to build and only moments to lose. Imagine a white sheet of paper. Every kind act, every honest gesture, every promise fulfilled adds to its brightness. But one lie, one betrayal, one act of disrespect creates a dark stain. You may try to erase it, but the mark remains. And each new betrayal adds more stains until the paper is filled with scars. Can you still write beautiful words on it? Maybe. But will it ever look the same again? Never. This is why we must be very careful with whom we give our trust. Because once someone has broken it, even if they remain in our lives, the respect we feel for them may never fully return. And without respect, love becomes weak, conversations become shallow, and connections lose their depth. It becomes a relationship of convenience, not of true bond. My dear friends, respect is not negotiable. If someone truly values you, they will guard your trust like a treasure. They will protect it as if it were their own soul. But if someone treats your trust lightly, if they break it once and expect everything to return to normal, they are asking for something impossible. Because respect, once lost, cannot be demanded. It must be earned back slowly, patiently, with consistent truth over time. And sometimes, even then, the cracks remain visible. So remember this: a relationship can survive many storms, distance, disagreements, even mistakes. But once trust is broken and respect is lost, the relationship is never the same. That is why you must choose carefully whom you allow to hold your trust. For those who honor it, your respect will grow endlessly. But for those who break it, no matter how many chances you give, a part of you will always know the respect is gone. And without respect, the heart can never feel fully safe again.